So we've managed to do now a gigawatt hour of energy storage deployment worldwide. This is all the way through from the reign of Ramses II of Egypt through today, which is a very impressive period of time. And in less than a year from now, we will do another gigawatt. So it's a pretty massive, yeah. So the rate of stationary storage deployment is going to grow exponentially. I mean, it's really, I think for many years to come, each incremental year will be about as much as all of the preceding years, which is a crazy growth rate. It's also a sort of a production limited thing. We would actually be able to do more if we could produce more. And we are producing a lot of batteries. So, in fact, next quarter at the Gigafactory, we expect to make more battery capacity than all other EVs combined worldwide, including China. So, I mean, this is a really crazy amount of batteries. This one factory will make more than all the other batteries on Earth. I think really deserving the Gigafactory sort of title. It's really nutty. We want to try to have maybe when things get calmed down a bit, have more tours available for Giga, because it's epic. It's yeah, it's at least 2 hours to just walk through all of the parts of Giga at this point. Just to walk through everything takes 2 hours. If you don't pause a lot, it's good exercise. So that's, pretty wild.
Can I ask you about batteries for a second?
Yeah, sure.
So you're building this Gigafactory, right? It's built.
Well, it's not completely built.
Okay, but part of it's up and running.
A big chunk of it's built, yeah.
Part of it's up and running.
It's a really gigantic thing. It's when the Gigafactory's done, it'll be the largest footprint building of any kind in the world. Of any kind, not just factories, literally of any kind.
What is this? The largest rocket, the largest building? I mean...
Well, I mean, I think it's not scale for scale's sake. It's just if you say, well, we want to accomplish these goals, then you kind of have to make a big thing. So,
okay. You've got this big thing. It's this big, giant building.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to make batteries. The batteries it's going to make are lithium.
We're going to have an opening. Well, it's not technically an opening party since it's been operating for a little while, but we're going to have a party soon. You guys maybe want to come.
Okay.
We can come? All right,
yeah,
good.
Sure.
We'll come to the battery
it's
party.
But they can't come.
I love
it's worth seeing. This
they
is
can't come, right? Just
this is crazy.
No.
This is like an alien dreadnought. It's really nutty.
Because I love a battery party, but
yeah.
Right, but
talk about where it's going.
Are these lithium-ion batteries?
Yeah, sure.
So they're the same batteries that's in our phone?
No.
Please explain.
Yeah, so lithium.
Have you made a battery breakthrough is something I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean, generally there's so much nonsense out there about batteries. You can believe about 1% of what you read. Maybe. Lithium-ion covers a very broad range of technologies, and you can have an enormous difference in the power density and the energy density and the cycle life between one chemistry and another. They can be really enormously different. What you really actually want to ask is, what is the cathode and what is the anode?
Right.
So in our case...
That's right.
Okay. I just put it in
the lithium is actually 2% of the cell mass. Mm-hmm. So it's like the salt in the salad. It's a very small amount of the cell mass and a fairly small amount of the cost. But it sounds like it's big because it's called lithium ion, but it really, our battery should be called nickel graphite because it's mostly nickel and graphite.
Okay, and
it's nickel, cobalt, aluminum,
but battery,
other little things, and graphite with a silicon oxide layer.
Battery efficiency or power, the power that you can store in a certain mass seems to be move very slowly, at least compared to, we're used to Moore's law, pushing integrated circuits faster. Batteries kind of are always, in our consumer devices, always lagging behind. You've built this giant thing, the biggest building in the world it's ever seen.
It's not fully built, but yes, it's
You're building
pretty
the
big
biggest
chunk is
building
built.
the world
So
has
yeah,
ever
yeah,
seen.
yeah.
To make batteries. Your whole business depends on batteries in these cars. Have you figured out a way to do some significant increase in the yield of energy from a given amount of space in the battery?
Well, yeah, I mean, the energy density is increasing sort of maybe on the order of like 5-ish% per year. And it doesn't sound like much, but you add that up over a number of years with compound interest, it ends up being quite a significant number. And a lot of people sort of think that, oh, well, we just sort of cobbled together some laptop batteries and somehow made a great car. If it was that easy, then I think we would have quite a few competitors who did the same thing. But it's really quite a lot harder than that. It's a cylindrical form factor, but the internals of the battery are quite different from what you would find in a laptop. And will be increasingly different with what's built at the Gigafactory, which is highly optimized for automotive, and has improved energy density. But mostly, it's not the energy density that's the issue, because you can if you buy a Model S today, the range is around 300 miles, and that's quite a lot. So it's pretty rare that people really need to go more than 300 miles at a time without stopping.
Right.
So I don't think we really have a range issue. And we could make a 400-mile range car today. Like, that wouldn't be too big of a deal. What really matters is decreasing the cost per unit of energy of the battery pack so you can make the car affordable. That's actually the important thing. So there's really two main dimensions along which cost optimization and making something available to the mass market can be achieved. One is design iteration, going through multiple versions of something, and then the other is economies of scale. And you kind of need both of those things in order to make a compelling mass market product. And you look at like cell phones and how many design iterations have we gone through with cell phones, and look at the scale at which they're made, which is enormous. And that's what enables everyone to have a supercomputer in their pocket. People think of factories too much like it's some sort of photocopy machine. It's just some boring thing that makes copies. But actually, it's vastly more complicated than the product that it makes. Well, I thank you for coming. And I'd like to start off by just thanking Governor Sandoval and the Nevada legislature for their support. And I think people should know that this was not the biggest incentive package. So it wasn't just about the incentives. And what the people of Nevada have created is a state where you can be very agile, where you can do things quickly and get things done. It's a real get things done state, and I think that was a really fundamental.
that was a really important part of the decision. This factory is very important to the future of Tesla, because without it, we can't do the mass market car. So in order for us to produce a high volume, affordable, compelling electric car, which has been the mission of Tesla from the beginning, and I'd like to acknowledge J.B. Straubel, co-founder and CTO of Tesla, and Dermot O'Connell, head of business development. And there's a tendency to sort of focus a lot of stuff on me, but it's really just, it's not me. It's like everybody else at Tesla. So anyway, but the Gigafactory is really vital for the future of Tesla in order to produce this mass market affordable electric car, which has been our goal from the beginning. And so in deciding where should we place this, we had to say, okay, where are we going to have high confidence that this factory is going to be ready on time, so that when we're ready to produce the vehicle, the factory is ready to produce the battery packs. That was truly the most important thing. And then, of course, can we operate that factory cost effectively so that the car itself can be affordable? And I think people in Nevada should be very proud that that's the state you have. It's a great state, and I'd encourage other people to come here as well. And it's worth perhaps just highlighting the sheer scale of the Gigafactory. And why do we even call it the Gigafactory? It's because it's actually going to be, it's not just going to be the biggest lithium-ion battery factory in the world, but it'll actually be bigger than the sum of all lithium-ion factories in the world. So if you add up all the lithium-ion factories in China, Korea, Japan, elsewhere in the world, and you sum them all up, and all of their production capability last year, the Gigafactory is actually bigger than that. So it's difficult to quite describe in words, but it's a heck of a big factory. And I also want to just point out a few things about the nature of the factory. Like we're taking care to make sure that it looks good, that it fits in with the surroundings, so that it's a factory, but we care about aesthetics. Does it look good? Does it work with the rest of the environment? So the factory will actually be shaped like a diamond, and the reason for that is if you make it a box shape, we would have had to move a lot more earth. So in order to sort of have it fit more in the environment, we've had it shaped like a diamond, and then it's aligned on true north, so that we can actually have we can map out where the equipment's going to be by GPS. And we can also, the solar panels that'll be on the roof are also properly aligned. So it's sort of, I think it sounds kind of romantic to say it's shaped like a diamond and aligned on true north. But there are practical reasons for it as well. And this factory will produce its own energy as well. So it's through a combination of geothermal, wind, and solar, it will produce all the energy that it needs. So it'll be a sort of a self-contained factory. And we're going to make sure that people can visit it and come look and check it out, because it'll be worth seeing. So, well, thanks again.